Hello friends, and welcome to Kurt Bergland's Baseball World. I'm announcing today that there will be a 2022 Fall Apba tournament in Wisconsin. As promised back in May when we had the Spring 2022 Wisconsin Apba tournament. The date for the fall tournament will be Saturday, October 22nd, and the time will be 9 a.m. until approximately 5 p.m. The location will be in Milwaukee, or maybe just south of Milwaukee. I'm going to wait to determine a location until we get closer to an official count of a number of participants. So probably in St. Francis, Wisconsin, which is just south of Milwaukee. The theme is Happy Days, and I'm going to put all this information in the description for the video, including my email. And that's really the big purpose of this video. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But the theme is Happy Days, D-A-Z-E. So we are taking a trip back in time to Arthur Fonzarelli and Richie Cunningham days. Except it's D-A-Z-E, not D-A-Y-S. And so that gives us a window of teams from 1950 to 1969. That's where you can choose your team from. Any team in that time period works for you to use in this competition. The cost is $20. You also need to bring your lunch because where I'm thinking we're going to have this, there's not a convenient place nearby that we won't lose all kinds of time, so you bring your lunch. But there will be a fridge and a sink and all sorts of stuff for you to use, and I'm going to provide some water and snacks as well. So, for your team, any team from any set is eligible. But you can only use one version of that team. So you can't mix different versions, different sets of teams and make your one. The roster limit is 25 players. But I'm also trying to challenge you to think about using an original set, either from a Richard Seitz created set, an original set, or the original G-Top sets. Now, both of those, for most of these seasons, not all, but for most of these seasons, that means that you would have 20 players. Basically, if you have a long envelope, like this one, this is my envelope for the 1964 Washington Senators, and you have a font that looks like, this is Buster Narum's card, it looks like this. And in this particular set, I don't have extras. In fact, I think they started with extras in 65, which I do have some. But this is the 64 Senator team. So what I'm trying to do to balance things out a little bit is to change some of the rules to challenge you a little bit in your thinking about maybe using one of the original teams from your collection. So let's talk about the rules for the tournament. It's going to be a 4-man rotation for pool play. You're going to get 8 or 9 games in, depending upon how many teams we have in pool play, and then we'll start the playoffs. 4 teams will make the playoffs. The playoffs will be 1 game each. So we'll have a Final Four, they'll play 1 game, and then we'll have a World Series. That will be 1 game. Relievers with a star rating, like one of my favorite relievers from the period, Ron Klein. You can see Ron Klein has a star on his card. he is limited to 3 innings per appearance. Relievers with a split grade, and I don't have any in this team, but if they have a split grade with a start and relief grade, they're limited also to 3 innings per appearance. And then if you use a reliever who's a starting pitcher, like for example on this card, if you used Benny Daniels as a reliever, he's a starter, as you can see, because he has no asterisk. But if you use him as a reliever, then he can go up to 4 innings per appearance. I count these in terms of outs. So when I say 2 innings, I'm really talking about 6 outs. When I'm talking about 3 innings, I'm talking about 9 outs. And when I talk about 4 innings, I'm really talking about 12 outs maximum. Now, any pitcher who pitches more than 6 outs in an appearance has to rest the next day. Any pitcher who pitches more than 6 outs in an appearance has to rest for the next game, unless you have an original team of 20 players or an original G-Top team, great teams of the past. Those also had 20 players, and you can find those because they're in long envelopes. So, those players, if you have an original team, they don't have to rest a day. They can go to their max and come back the next day. So that's one advantage that you have for using an original set with 20. Now, there will be no pitcher grade reduction in extra innings. But we're only going to go 2 innings in extra innings. So after the 11th, if it's still tied, if nobody's won, after the bottom of the 11th, we're calling it a tie and we're moving to the next game. And that's simply because we don't want to fall too far behind on our schedule for the day. So there could be ties. We'll go by winning percentage to determine division winners and playoffs in pool play. Obviously, in playoffs play, we got to keep going. There's no ties in the playoffs. We're going to use the most recent boards. No DH, no injuries, no ejections, and no rainouts. No J4 player can start or enter the game before the top of the 6th inning. However, a pitcher who's a J4 could start a game if he has 10 starts and 100 innings pitched. That's your limit on starting pitchers. They have to have 10 starts, they have to have 100 innings. Now, if you have one of these original teams, and here's your other bonus, if you have one of these original teams, pitchers may pinch run and pinch hit. But if you don't have an original team, that's fine, but in that event, they can only pinch run off the bench for you, or pitch, of course. All right, so what happens next? Well, tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to be sending out an email to everybody who's indicated they want to participate, and that's going to have draft information on it. The draft will be to determine who gets which teams. So, on Saturday, August 20th, starting at 9 a.m., I'm going to take all the folks that have said they want to play and are coming, and I'm going to throw their names in a hat, and I'm going to create a draft order. Then, I'm going to make a video and announce the order and send out an email to everyone on my list that tells the draft order. Then, I'm guessing around 9:30, the draft will open. And whoever's first on the list gets his pick of the teams from 1950 to 1969. everybody that wants to participate after that date or tells me they want to participate after that date, that's fine. You can certainly do that. You can wait to decide. However, you'll come in at the end, and those teams that have already drafted will have taken up some of the teams. So you can certainly join in at any point until I'm going to close this out probably in early October, so that I can get the room reserved. But you can certainly join us along the way. But the draft email giving all the instructions and going over the rules again for the tournament will be sent out tomorrow night. Then, as other people join, I'll send them the email, the same email I'm sending out tomorrow, and they'll be up to speed as well. It's going to be a good time, and there's going to be prizes. The first prize, and I'm going to announce the 2023 spring tournament theme at the fall tournament for 2022. So on Saturday, October 22nd at 9 a.m., I'm going to be announcing the spring 2023 tournament theme. But it's going to have to do, this is a spoiler, it's going to have to do with the prizes for this fall tournament. And the first prize for the fall tournament is a 2008 complete set. The other playoff teams will be getting particular World Series sets that also fit with the theme of the spring tournament. So you see how I'm kind of feeding one tournament. There's no off position, my friends, on the Genius Switch. So the prizes have to do with the spring tournament, and that's all I'm going to say at this moment. All right, so I think that covers everything for now. My email is Bergland.kurt at yahoo.com, and I'm putting that in the description for this video as well. You can send me your interest in participating in the tournament, and then I will add you to my email list, and you'll be getting all of the updates. If you do that before August 19th, you will be in the draft on August 20th, and I will be pulling your name out of a hat in some sequence on that morning. And then we will start the draft. If there is an odd number of teams on that day, October 22nd at 9 a.m., if we have an odd number of teams for whatever reason, then I will play. If not, then I won't. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in Wisconsin. We do good prizes. There's also going to be door prizes. Everybody's going to go home with something. I promise you that. You won't go home empty-handed. And I'll have food and snacks and water and stuff for you to munch on as well. It's going to be a good day. And I hope you'll join us. And think about these vintage teams. I'm trying to encourage you and challenge you a little bit by no relief pitcher rest rules for these teams and the pinch hit ability. We all know those teams of the 50s and 60s, so many of them had pitchers who could slug. And so now I'm giving you an opportunity to use those, maybe to your advantage. So we'll see if anyone actually decides to do it. I don't know if they will or not. All right, so that is the 2022 Wisconsin Apba Fall Tournament video. If you have questions, don't hesitate to email me at Bergland.kurt at yahoo.com. I'm putting a lot of information about the tournament in the description for the video. Feel free to look that over. And I would suppose in about 5 or 6 weeks, I will have a definite location that I will be sending out to folks as well. that will accommodate a group of whatever size we end up having. All right, thank you for joining me, my friends. I hope you have a good day. Stay tuned for lots more baseball on my channel. And if you haven't considered becoming a channel member, check out the link in the video in the description to this video for that as well. Have a good day. So long, everybody.